Singapore-based vessel catches fire off the coast in Beypore. 36 hours on and the fire rages on. What could be the possible reasons? First, let me take you through the details of what we know so far. 9th of June, around 9:20 in the morning, that's when the SOS call was actually made to the Indian Coast Guard as well as the Indian Navy that a vessel has caught fire. Immediately thereafter, the Indian Coast Guard had dispatched 4 of their vessels. They were mobilized to ensure that the firefighting can actually take place. Thereafter, around 12:40 in the afternoon, we are given to understand that the fire spread to other containers. Now, before I move on to the next bit, I'm just going to try and help you understand. This is the underdeck area of the ship where explosions were actually reported. One of the primary reasons why the firefighting operation is becoming extremely tedious, challenging, is because multiple explosions have been reported from the time the firefighting operation actually began, limiting this entire process. Around 2:30 in the afternoon on 9th of June is when we got the information that the vessel had started drifting. You have had the firefighting operation still continuing. And the number of vessels thereafter was increased to about 6 vessels from the Indian Coast Guard itself. 9 o'clock at night on 9th of June, Dornier aircrafts were also dispatched. A total of 2 Dornier aircrafts of the Indian Coast Guard was also brought in because they were monitoring the entire situation. And it turns out that by about 9 o'clock in the night, it had started spreading to the rear side, the rear end of this particular vessel. Now, what we are being told that about 1,700 containers are present in this particular ship. Now, what are the contents of these containers? We are being told that 157 such containers have dangerous goods, hazardous goods. Now, but on 10th of June around 11:20 is when we received another update that the fire and explosions still continued. They were still persisting. But what you see, these boats that were basically being used by the Indian Navy, and a destroyer was basically sent to rescue the crew members. There were 22 crew members, of which 18 have already been rescued. 4 are still missing, even as we speak right now. 2:50 this afternoon is when the International Center for Ocean Information Services had issued an alert, and this alert was pertaining to a possible oil spill. And that is the reason why it's becoming a huge cause of concern right now. This was around 2:50. 3 o'clock this evening, we were told that authorities have already directed appointment of salvo and firefighting experts because it was turning out that they needed more professional help right now to prevent any further oil spill. And that is the reason why the professionals were also called. And this was around 3 o'clock this afternoon. And even as we speak right now, the latest information being that the firefighting operation still continues. 40% of the fire has been doused. About 3:23 in the afternoon, we were told that coastal surveillance was also stepped up in the area. But the last update now coming in, that just about 40% has been covered. Large amount of the firefighting operation would still continue. And the bigger cause of concern are the 4 missing crew members. Rest of them have all been taken to Mangalore for further aid to be provided to them, and also to ensure that the questioning can also take place. Because remember, what the authorities do suspect at this point in time is the possibility of contraband being shipped. This particular vessel had moved from Colombo and was moving towards Nhava Sheva port, and the agencies do suspect that there is a possibility that contraband was also shipped.